Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the East Brunswick Township Council regular meeting dated February 27th, 2023. Will everyone please rise and salute our nation's flag with our Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing for a moment of personal reflection. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Township Clerk, will you call roll and read our statement of adequate notice?
Councilman Bahal?
Here.
Councilman Wendell?
Here.
Councilwoman Winston?
Here.
Councilwoman Zimbicki? Here. Council President McAvoy?
Here.
Also present, Mayor Brad Cohen?
Here.
Administrator Joseph Criscuolo?
Present.
And Township Attorney Michael Baker.
Here.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required under Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, by specifying the time, date, location, and to the extent known, the agenda, by posting a copy on the bulletin board located in the main lobby of the East Brunswick Municipal Building, providing a copy to the Home News Tribune and Sentinel newspapers, and posting a copy on the Township's website, and by filing a copy in the office of the Township Clerk, which will be entered into the minutes.
Thank you. Approval of meeting minutes. May I have a motion for Resolution 23-94, adopting our meeting minutes from February 13th, 2023?
Motion approved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion or clarification on the minutes? Roll call.
Councilman Bahal?
Yes.
And Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
And Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
And Councilwoman Zimbicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. Township will now recognize Dr. Ken Friedman for his services to the township. Dr. Friedman, please join me at the lectern. I've known Ken, like many of you, for quite some time, socially and professionally. Yet some of our best conversations have been about the direction and general welfare of our township. So it is with great pleasure that I read this proclamation into the record. However, before I do that, I would like to call upon our mayor, Dr. Brad Cohen, to say a few words. Mayor?
Absolutely. Thank you, Council President. First of all, it's such a nice, wonderful opportunity to be able to speak about another colleague here in Township, as we all, as healthcare providers and first responders, have that fraternity and desire to do what we can for the betterment of those who are around us. I think that's why we go into these fields, is to try to make people's lives better. And I think that says everything you really need to know about Ken. I've known him for several years now, but he's been a member, a resident of this township for decades. He's owned a business in the township for decades, administering health care to those in need for decades, and has also, on top of all of that, contributed back to the township, which is what I think we're here primarily to talk about tonight. That on top of taking care of yourselves, your patients and your family, you've given time to make the community better. You've contributed for years, decades, on the health advisory board here in the township, which, as many of you know, is a board to help advise the mayor on issues that relate to healthcare and healthcare concerns for the township. That's regardless of whether or not the mayor is himself or herself a physician. But that is the point. We need to make sure that those that are in leadership positions have the information they need to make the right healthcare decisions to protect the welfare of the people living here. That you've done for many years. On top of serving on that committee, you've provided lots of EBTV programming designed to talk about many of the healthcare concerns that people have for many years. Your wellness series has been one of the most viewed series ever produced by EBTV. You were called upon during all different healthcare issues during the town, most noticeably the last couple of years with COVID, where we asked the council to come up with ideas to make sure that the public had access to information, accurate information, in a world where we were being given information that was very difficult to understand, and then often you didn't know what was right from wrong. We needed to have access to the information that mattered to people so they can make healthy, correct decisions for their lives. You were involved in that. And as a library board member, you've helped contribute to the betterment of one of the gems of the township that we rely upon, which not only provides access to everybody to the full function of a library, but is well known throughout the state for providing top quality healthcare information. That you've worked in conjunction with the library to make sure that that information is accurate and gets out to the public in a community that's clearly filled with lots of people in the healthcare fields. So I commend you for all those years you've given to the township. I know you've stepped back, and several of the members of the Health Advisory Council are here tonight to see you get this honor. But I have to tip my hat off to you and say it's a job well done. I know you're going to continue to help out the township and provide, but I think you recognize now it's maybe someone else's turn to take on that mantle. But we can't let that happen without giving you the due recognition you deserve.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
The mayor used my notes. And as a result, a lot of the things I'm about to say, Ken, were said already, but now it's in a formal document. It can be framed and hung proudly in your office. Proudly in your office. Whereas it is important for a community to recognize and honor citizens who selflessly give of their time and themselves to improve the quality of life for others, as well as to acknowledge the outstanding noteworthy achievements of those citizens that go above and beyond. And whereas Dr. Ken Friedman is the founder and director of Friedman Chiropractic in East Brunswick, providing chiropractic care since 1979. His practice specializes in offering natural relief of pain in the back and the neck. He has been named Best Chiropractor in Central New Jersey by the Home News Tribune's Reader's Choice Best of the Best Award in not only 2017, but again in 2020. And whereas Dr. Friedman has been a member of the East Brunswick Advisory Health Council from 1992 and served as president from 1994 through 2022. He is a member of the East Brunswick Regional Chamber of Commerce, a member of the East Brunswick Library Board of Trustees, and is president of the Briar Hill at Colonial Oaks Condominium Association. And whereas Dr. Friedman is the creator and host of the Wellness Spotlight, an award-winning health and wellness program airing on EBTV since 2008. He has appeared on MSNBC, News 4 New York, WABC Eyewitness News, News 12 New Jersey, CBS Morning News, KYW-TV Philadelphia, and Channel 29 Good Morning Philadelphia. He offers wellness programs to businesses, clubs, and organizations such as the popular Stress Management for Successful Living. So now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and the Township Council, on behalf of a grateful community, do hereby commend Dr. Ken Friedman and his lifelong work toward improving the quality of life in the community and for proudly representing East Brunswick. Given under my hand and the Great Seal of the Township of East Brunswick, this the 27th day of February in the year 2023, the Honorable Mayor Brad J. Cohn.
Thank you, Mayor Cohn, Council President McAvoy, and to the entire Town Council for this wonderful honor. When I walked into the room, I looked to my left and I said, wow, I've been here for 5 pictures. You know, I was originally appointed by Mayor Oskowski, and I wanted to thank all of the mayors that I've served under, Mayor Oskowski and Mayor Neary and Mayor Stahl and Mayor McAvoy and now Mayor Cohen, for the confidence that you've placed in me in appointing me for so many consecutive terms. And I want to especially thank the members of the Advisory Health Council over the over 30 years that I've served on the Advisory Health Council. And, you know, we all take time out as volunteers, as you do too, to serve this town that we all love so much. I also want to thank and acknowledge my family, because the times that we're away serving the public good, we're away from them. You know, we could be tucking our kids in, telling them bedtime stories, playing with them, working in our businesses, having dinner. But we're sharing ourselves, and our family is sharing us too. So I want to thank my wife Norma and our children Jake and Diana for the support that they've given me. And I also want to thank all of the members of the Advisory Health Council for re-electing me year after year. I wouldn't have been in this capacity without them and their support and the wonderful work that they do. I want to acknowledge Dr. Huzaifa Shakir, who's here tonight, who is the newly elected president of the Advisory Health Council, who will be taking over, and I know he'll do a wonderful job. It is an honor to be able to serve. It's an honor to be able to volunteer. It's the first thing that we hear when we show up for jury duty, and it's no different in any other capacity that benefits the public good. So in closing, I just want to say thank you so much for this honor again. It's very near and dear to my heart, and I will display it proudly in my office, and I wish all of you the best, and thank you for all of the wonderful work that you do to help make East Brunswick a healthier place in which to live.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to introduce Susan Fine to the council and to the community for her presentation regarding the Community Development Block Grant.
Thank you for the opportunity to hold a public hearing at this council meeting. My name is Susan Fine, and I'm a housing specialist for the township. The public hearing is a requirement of the Federal Community Development Block Grant, otherwise known as the CDBG program. Its purpose is to provide information, answer questions, and solicit suggestions for potential grant recipients. My goal here is to generate involvement in and establish the township's commitment to proposed solutions for our community. The Community Development Block Grant is a federally funded program. The annual CDBG appropriation is allocated between states and local jurisdictions. Excluding entitlement cities, Middlesex County qualifies as an urban county with a population of 200,000 or more. Federal CDBG funding is allocated directly to Middlesex County for projects in 18 municipalities, which includes East Brunswick. We expect that East Brunswick's share of the CDBG grant this year will be around $125,000, which can be divided among several worthy projects. While there's no guarantee that this program will be continued in the 2023 federal budget, we are operating optimistically. The objectives of the Community Development Block Grant Program are to support community activities that will benefit principally low and moderate income individuals and families, the elderly, and those with disabilities. For instance, the American with Disabilities Act's compliance is an improved activity. The preservation of historical sites, the elimination of slums and blight, expansion of housing opportunities, and correction of health and safety code violations through housing rehabilitation are all eligible activities. Prior East Brunswick projects under this program have included, but are not limited to, ADA modifications to municipal buildings, programs as well as transportation for the senior center, improvements to our historical and affordable housing buildings, improvements, repairs, and capital improvements for nonprofits serving the developmentally disabled, seniors, as well as our low-income residents. Projects are required to be completed within 18 months of the grant allocation. Otherwise, the funds may be transferred to other ongoing eligible projects. The township welcomes comments and suggestions for the spending of the potential CDBG funds. I can be reached at my office. The number is 732-390-6870, or by email at sfine@eastbrunswick.org. All submissions are due by March 6, 2023. Thank you for your time.
At this time, I would like to open comments to the public on this issue. Are there any comments from council? Could we hear the contact information again, Susan? I know it's on the homepage, but sometimes people don't even know how to navigate. They get to the homepage and where do I go now?
Okay. Sure. So I can be reached. My phone number in the township is at 732-390-6870, or they can reach me by email, which is sfein, that's SFEIN, at eastbrunswick.org. Thank you.
Thank you.
Close the public portion. Close the public portion.
And we'll close the public portion with regard to this issue as well. Let's move on to the ordinance for a second reading and public hearing. Municipal clerk, township clerk, will you read, please?
An ordinance of the Township of East Brunswick, amending Chapter 43, Alarm Systems of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of East Brunswick.
Motion to adopt.
And a second?
Second.
Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this issue only? We'll close the public portion. Any council discussion? We did have a thorough explanation from Mr. Crisculo last week. I appreciate that, Mr. Crisculo. Municipal clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston? Yes. Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy?
Yes. Municipal clerk, will you read ordinance 23-08?
An ordinance of the Township of East Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 209 of the Township Code of the Township of East Brunswick, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, to establish a traffic control signal at the intersection of Church Lane and Fresh Ponds Road.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Second.
And Council President.
Yeah, did we not take a roll on the?
We talked about this last week.
Right.
Last meeting, and this is just a housekeeping issue as to, adopting and mandating that traffic signal is now in effect. Correct, Mr. Baker?
Correct. In order to be able to enforce the traffic signal, you need to have accepted and adopted it as an approved traffic signal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Wendell. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this issue and this issue alone? And we'll close the public portion. Municipal clerk, will you take the roll?
Councilman Bahal?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston? Yes. Councilwoman Zambicki? Yes. And Council President McAvoy?
Yes. Moving on to our reports portion, Mayor Cohn?
Thank you, Council President. I don't have a lot to report on, but it is one issue that I wanted to talk about tonight, one that we as a council and our Public Safety Department has been inundated with over the last couple of months. And so I have a statement that I wanted to read into the minutes regarding that. And that is that for the last 5 to 6 months, the township has been getting a barrage of emails and civic ready messages regarding a host of issues on Sunburst Drive. As best as we can tell, all of the complaints are coming from one untraceable person. As many of you know, Sunburst is an arterial connector road between Old Bridge Turnpike and River Road. There are no residents that actually live on Sunburst. The complaints have mostly been about trucks over 4 tons traversing the road when that's clearly prohibited, and speeding cars. All of the emails have come from untraceable email accounts, and in every instance, we've responded to the complaints asking the writer to come in and talk to public safety officials or administration, as there are questions that we would like to ask regarding the complaints. We have never had a response. All of the Civic Ready complaints have failed to provide contact information. In response to these complaints, the East Brunswick Police Department has deployed hundreds of hours of manpower to monitor Sunburst. This has been done at multiple different times of the day, at different days of the week, and at different sites. In a few complaints, and only a few, were pictures of trucks provided. In the vast majority, there were no pictures. To date, our police have only been able to stop a few cars for speeding and only found one truck. In instances where there were pictures of trucks with identifiable companies, those companies were contacted and asked to comply with township ordinances, as tickets cannot be issued based on a picture. Some of the complaints claim that trucks were speeding at 80 miles an hour, a virtual impossibility. Knocked over signs, never validated by investigation, was causing noise issues not substantiated by anybody else in the community, or were driving past buses while students were getting on and off, not validated by any school bus drivers. So let me be perfectly clear. The Township Police cannot be everywhere on our 100-mile and 80 miles of roads in the township. I'm sure there are many roads where drivers go above a speed limit, or where trucks may travel on roads where they are prohibited, or where folks simply break all sorts of traffic laws. This includes streets such as Buck, Gladstone, Dunham's Corner, Jensen, Whitehall, University. I can go on and on. But the difference between those streets and Sunburst is that people actually live on those streets. Our East Brunswick Police Department will continue to do the best that they can enforcing traffic laws and rules, as we do take public safety very seriously, but we cannot be everywhere all the time. I will not continue to deploy our resources to one road, despite the barrage of complaints coming from one person who will not identify him or herself. I cannot begin to tell you the number of manpower, hours, and money devoted to following those complaints. This deployment of manpower means we either have to pay overtime hours or divert police away from areas where we know crime is more likely. The action of this person is putting the rest of the community at risk and must stop immediately. If the actions continue, my administration will be left with only 2 options. One is to ignore all future complaints from this party regarding Sunburst, which creates a boy cries wolf scenario where we may unfortunately ignore a complaint that's valid, or simply close off the River Road Sunburst intersection to any through traffic at all. Now, I hate to punish the community for the actions of one person, so this must stop immediately, or the complainant must come in and identify him or herself so that our public safety officials can properly investigate the claims. At this point, your continued harassment of the police and my administration is a greater distraction and risk to the community than your unsubstantiated, hyperbolic complaints. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Right. Any comments from?
I'd just like to thank the mayor for making the statement, because we've all been inundated with a tremendous amount of emails.
And kudos to the mayor. I would have started with the resources that have been spent to the manpower, the woman power, to handle this particular situation, It's just unacceptable, and I appreciate the comments you made this evening.
Thank you.
Our business administrator, Mr. Crisculo.
The mayor said it all.
Always a little humor in the business administrator. Our distinguished attorney, Mr. Baker.
Thank you for that distinguished part, and no report this evening.
Our township clerk is lawful.
Nothing to report, sir.
Council members with reports and/or board information. Same here. It's been a quiet front. I've been moved over to, what was the one I replaced you on, Jim?
Planning.
Planning. And it's been quiet. It's been quiet. I don't know if that's good or bad. Just new to it. Let me open the meeting to the public, and will the township clerk read our public comment statement?
The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the East Brunswick Rules of Council, the council asks the public to limit their comments to 5 minutes or less. At the conclusion of the statements or questions from a member of the public, the council president, at his discretion, may choose to respond, not respond, or to ask the administration to respond.
Before addressing the chair, please give us your name, spell it, and your home address. Would anyone like to address the chair?
Hi, good evening. Wilbur Pan, Wilburpan, like frying pan, at 223 Milltown Road in East Brunswick. I had a question. The library's been closed for the past several days, and I just got an email before coming over here tonight that it still wouldn't be open until Wednesday. I was just wondering if anybody had information about that.
That one I do not, so I will defer. Mayor?
Yeah, there had been a question during the construction of the children's wing that there might be an issue with asbestos. So in due caution to the public, we closed the library, testing's been done. The testing has come back all negative. So the plan is to open up the library as soon as possible. After doing some little bit of cleaning, we're going to open the library up. We're expected to be, I think, Wednesday.
And do you have any more information on the asbestos?
It was tested several times during the...
Mayor, your mic's on.
Oh,
Sorry. It was tested and sent off for evaluation by the agencies that do that, and the results just came back this morning as negative.
When was it positive?
Never.
Never.
It was the vinyl floor tiles that were removed, and out of an abundance of caution, we just tested for it.
All right.
Anyone else to address? Please.
Council, Mr. McAvoy, Mr. Mayor. Thomas Ingrasani, 58 Deerfield Road, East Brunswick, New Jersey. First of all, I was reading in the East Brunswick Patch, and thank you to Mr. Cohen there. He's questioning the taxes for the schools, or the, like I say, why they need extra schools, and our taxes will probably go up, like I had said months ago. But he knows he's putting up a little fight with that, which is good. Second of all, a suggestion about that sunburst thing. Put a traffic, what do you call it, a camera. I don't know how much it'll cost, but maybe a camera will help that to resolve it. Okay, there is a personal nature. I was talking to the officer back there. About 2 weeks ago, I take my granddaughter to Central every morning. I drop her off, and I get in that right lane where it says school, staff only, and I go down, and I go in there. You wait online to get the kids in. When I come out, sometimes you have no choice but to ride the right lane because I make the first right to get onto Merrill. I got pulled over, and I couldn't figure out why. And the officer says to me, license and registration. Okay, fine, I gave it to her. And she says, you were driving on a shoulder. I says, a what? That's an entrance to the school. It says student and drop off only, you know. So I come out, I guess it's still a shoulder, but I made the first right. Otherwise, you gotta go across that lane into the oncoming traffic lane, then make your right. All I ask is maybe put up a sign, school entrance and exit only, and it's very confusing. I've seen a lot of people do it behind me also, or I see them do it before me, so I'm just a lucky one that got stopped. She gave me a warning, that was good, but something should be done, either put lines in there not to use it, or entrance to school and exit to school only, because it's very, like I say, it's backed up quite a bit sometimes, going straight. So they want you to go straight and then make the right onto the shoulder, which is a wide enough lane. So see what could be done about that? That's all. Thank you.
Traffic, I'll take care of that, Tom. The traffic safety will look into it.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else from the public wishing to address the chair? Let's close the public portion. We have one resolution requiring a separate vote. Will the township clerk please read?
Resolution requesting approval for authorizing an emergency temporary appropriations in accordance with NJSA 40A:4-20.
Get a motion, please?
Move to adopt.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy?
Yes, moving on to our consent agenda. Does council have the need for anything to be removed from the resolutions? Resolutions 23 through 96. Excuse me, Resolution 2396 through 23102. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Township Clerk, will you call the roll?
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, my chair just like all the way down. I was like, what the hell happened?
Accidents will happen, Councilman Wendell.
Especially when you show this guy on council.
Add-on resolutions, there are none. Unfinished business and/or new business for introduction, nothing. For the good of the cause. I've got a little something. East Brunswick Arts Commission, photography project. You can go to arts@eastbrunswick.org to submit your photos by March 20th. The theme is ordinary to extraordinary in a 3-photo pairing. Please include your name and title if there are any questions. Once again, arts@eastbrunswick.org. East Brunswick Youth Council fundraiser for Earth Day, April 22nd, 12:30 to 2:30 at the Community Park Pickleball Courts. It'll be a tournament. Once again, on April 22nd from 12:30 through 3:30. Dunham's Corner Road, Pickleball Courts, $10 for youth, $20 for adult non-members. Get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The nayers, abstainers. Good night, everyone.